right, welcome to Magnitude. My name's Simon Becker. I'm the CEO of the company, and my mission is to ensure that you get value out of what we've provided you, and through that, greater efficiencies and improvements in your organization in general. The Magnitude platform is a very dynamic platform. We have the ability to create a variety of different processes within your organization. And now that you've become a client, the question is, how do we go about that? So let me just explain it to you in a very simple way. What we use is an app that we provide you using Magnitude itself. You download the Magnitude internal application from the App Store. Kelly will take you through that in more detail in the videos a little bit later. If you look at the app, it's broken into 4 parts. We give you a process called work order, another one called technical issues, general queries, and then your user management. So let's start with the work order. On the work order process, the purpose of this is for you to be able to decide what processes you want us to produce for you. When you go to the work order app, you're basically capturing a process, which you'll see in more detail shortly. And as you capture this process, it's going through to our office. And in our office, we're producing the solutions that you require. The communication and chats are all associated to that communication until we close it off. And then we measure our performance based on how we're servicing you. So in effect, it's like a work order service level agreement or service level measurement tool that shows the quality of how we operate with you and how we go about doing our business. Good luck out there, and thanks for becoming a client of ours. We look forward to working for you.
Logging a work order. So at your home activities page, you're quite easily able to see how many work orders you've logged by the one going out and how many work orders have been closed off, because a work order will only be closed off once an implementation consultant has finished implementing the process and has sent a feedback form back into the system. So you'll see at the moment you currently have 1 work order that's gone out and you've got 0 that have come back in. So you've still got some outstanding. You've still got the 1 outstanding. Next to that, the 45 unresolved, that just shows in total how many work orders are still incomplete in the system. So if I tap on work order, it then takes me to my dashboard homepage. And here at this page, I'm able to see how many work orders I've submitted. So I can tap on my work order submitted and go and see my total work orders, as well as engage and collaborate at this point. But at this stage, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to post a new work order. So I tap on post a new work order. This is automatically linked to your particular implementer who is managing your account. This is done in the system for you. So now what we do is we're simply going to capture our new Go Mobile work order. So the first thing you do is you just pop in your company name. So we are company XYZ. Okay. The next step is to then give your activity a name. So we're going to call this one, let's call it operations audit. Okay. The next step is we're just looking for a general overview of how you believe this process is going to work. Obviously, the more detailed, the better, because then it prevents a bit of back and forth. So giving us as much information as possible as to how you believe that this process is going to work will be the most effective. So a general overview, auditor goes into the field. And captures the work order, the ops audit. As I said again, just for demo purposes, we're going to keep it quite short and sweet, but as much detail as possible is beneficial at this point. So who's going to be resolving the form, who's going to be receiving the form, who's going to be collaborating in the form, etc. All right. You're also then able to add any photos. So any drawings or pictures or diagrams that you've popped into the system can just be taken a picture of. If it's a whiteboard drawing, whatever the case, you can add that in just to make it a bit easier for the implementer to understand exactly what needs to be done. The next step is we're just looking for what value you believe that this process is going to bring to your company. So again, keeping it quite short and sweet, gauging the efficiency or the effectiveness of ops audits. Also collaborating with franchisees or whoever might be collaborating with. All right. The next step is we've just got a couple of yes/no questions. And the whole process behind these questions is that we just want to make sure that you fully understand the capabilities of Magnitude. So every time you do go through a work order, we just want to quickly check in and make sure that you understand exactly what Magnitude can and can't do. So we've got, have you been through a full capture, respond, chat, resolve process? If the answer is no, pop it in as no, because then what can happen is we can then come in and help you through those processes. Are you aware of how the weightings work? Do you know what types of forms you can use? So again, these are just some easy yes/no questions. Do you know what database referencing is? Are you aware of imaging constraints? And the more honest you are here, the better we're able to gauge your understanding of Magnitude. And if we believe that there's room for improvement in your understanding, we can then obviously step in and make sure that you're getting the most out of your Magnitude processes. Do you require third-party software integration? Again, if need be, you can add any attachments. Have the opportunities to see if you require any Microsoft Power BI dashboards. Okay, yes or no in this case. If you do require, you can add any attachments to this. And again, we aren't here to criticize your understanding of Magnitude. We're just here to make sure that you understand exactly what's going on. So the next step is you just submit Notify. Once that has been submitted, our implementation consultant receives a notification straight away, letting them know that you have submitted your work order. Once the implementer has received the notification, he'll then engage with you via the chat, just letting you know that he's received it and we are able to start moving forward. So you will receive a notification from the implementer once he has received your work order. As you can see, I've just received a notification to say that Mr. Implementer has just engaged. I can then see straight at my homepage, I've now got a badge icon. I've got one chat outstanding for me. If I go back to my home page, I can see I've got a chat outstanding at the work order. And if I tap on that chat notification, it takes me to the exact form that the chat has occurred at. Again, I can see at the bottom there I've got one outstanding chat, and Mr. Implementer has let me know, thanks for the info, and I'll begin working on this tomorrow. And you can quite easily reply to Mr. Implementer by just tapping on the at Mr. Implementer, thanks, chat, then. And so the collaboration begins. And boom, we can see Mr. Implementer is now going to receive an alert on his end. And if there is anything you may have left out, you can also add any extra photos at this stage by tapping on the plus sign, clicking on attach. I'm wanting to send across to Mr. Implementer, selecting Mr. Implementer, again, attach, and taking a photo, sending across another photo for ideas that you are looking to implement into this new system. Once the implementation consultant has finished building your activity and he or she believes that it's ready to go live, he will then provide the inform or the response to this particular activity. And you can see here that Magnitude has replied to Mr. Client, and if I tap on the full details of the form, we're able to see exactly what was captured by you, by the client, explaining the process, and then the feedback from the implementation consultant as to how he believes the build of the activity went. Again, we can tap on the bottom into the action section, and both Mr. Client and Mr. Implementer can engage at this point. And we can also call in support and say, Mr. Support, this is ready to go live. And once you are happy with this particular activity, a simple 2 tap of the ticks at the top right there now resolves this form. And by going back to the home page, we can now see that we've got 2 that's going out, but we've got 1 that's been received. We only have 46 that's now unresolved, or 44 now that's been unresolved, meaning that we now have 1 activity that's out and live in the system.